Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a kind of situation going down involving Kairyu Crocodile. Now, if you don't know, Kairyu Crocodile is a new VTuber who has just debuted, and yeah, they are the last kind of final lost member of VShojo, which has come out and yeah, decided to start streaming, and it's really, really great to see. Now, as you can see here, yeah, they are part of Beastiez with, I think it's Tori, Pia, and also Berry. So again, that is great to see. And also the art for the actual model itself is done by Nanolus, who obviously you guys know, she's a very, very popular artist and was involved in that whole Cinder stuff that went down. But essentially, yeah, you know, she's been doing great. There's also been, you know, a debut kind of video that's been put up, as well as a debut animation. We looked at the debut animation already. And yeah, obviously we have the actual nice to meet you video, which released over 2 days ago, which got over 632,000 views, and her subs have boosted up massively to 176,000 subscribers with only posting 2 videos, which I think is pretty insane, right? But one of the big conversations that's been going on at the moment is a huge thread which has been taking place over on Twitter, talking about obviously who she previously used to be. Now, if you don't know who she previously used to be, well, at least what is speculated to be, I'm pretty sure it's almost certain now, it's Jaden Animation. So obviously it's a huge, huge channel over on YouTube, and that is why a lot of people have been talking about it. But the kind of conversation about it has been pretty interesting, because a lot of people are trying to get to grips with how VTubing and mentioning past lives kind of work, and it's a very kind of nuanced thing, right? Because this is the original tweet that I saw, which said, "Dude, VTuber culture is so bizarre to me. Why did Jaden Animations become a VTuber under a new name? And why are all the comments refusing to say her actual name? Is it like considered rude or something? But also, who are we tricking with this man? I feel like an unk," which, yeah, obviously, it seems like they obviously don't understand what is going on with this entire kind of culture stuff, right? And I think there is a lot to kind of unpack. I think it is okay, especially in like a lot of my videos, whenever there is a new debut, whenever there is something new going on, to mention, you know, obviously their past life. I think it is important in terms of promoting it to new people, in terms of making people also understand the situation, because if there's something that's going on which involves their past life, then people need to know, right? And I think it is okay to mention the fact that, you know, they used to be Jaden Animations. But the thing that I would say is considered rude, especially within the comments of her own videos and things, is obviously referring to her by that, like by name, right? Because obviously there is one thing saying like, oh, she used to be this person, right? I think that's fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. Obviously, if you bring it up like way too often, then, you know, it can start to become a little bit of a problem. But I think as long as you're referring to her as Karu, you know, in comments and in videos and stream or whatever, you know, I think that's totally fine, because again, you're not really hurting anybody, and also you're literally saying an objective fact. And yeah, I think that is the way that people, you know, should go about it. And the same with like me and how I kind of do my videos. Obviously, this video is going to be titled Jaden Animations, da 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 da. You know, it's going to be titled Kairyu Crocodile, because that's her new kind of persona, right? And I think a lot of people do respect that. And, you know, I think some people just don't really understand how that works in terms of, you know, opening up. Because, again, I do think, like, even if this wasn't to do with VTubers and things, and they kind of, I guess, came back as like a different, what do you call it, like personality, or not personality, but like different kind of name and things, I feel like people wouldn't just like stick to the old one. You know, I think it is just a pretty normal thing to kind of call someone by whatever name that they have promoted themselves under this account. So again, I do find that pretty odd. And yeah, lots of people have been debating over that. And they also added like a little bit of a follow-up here down at the bottom saying, "Since this post is reaching a bigger audience, for some reason I'll just say this in case it isn't obvious. I don't really care what/why she does this. I don't follow the culture, but also don't hate it. If you like the roleplay aspect of it, that's cool. I don't know. That's about it." So yeah, obviously I don't think this person is here to, you know, be hateful or anything like that. I think they are literally just a little bit confused about the culture, and I think it is important to kind of, I guess, yeah, understand it, and, you know, for people to kind of I guess educate them on it, because, you know, some people can get a little bit confused. People saying, "I saw this post, 2 posts on here saying it's rude to call her Jaden unless it's okay. I'm just as confused as you are." And again, I do think it is pretty rude, right? I don't think it is, you know, the best thing to really be doing in like a chat or something like that, right? And as I said, you know, you can refer to her as Jaden or not refer to as Jaden, but like kind of call back to the fact that, you know, she has been Jaden in the past, you know, in a video or in some kind of, I guess, like tweet or post or whatever that is relevant to that name. But if you're going to call her by a name, if you're referring to her VTuber kind of channel, right, then obviously then you go with Karu, because again, obviously you don't want the chat to be filled up with past kind of stuff, which I think would just be a little bit weird, right? I don't think you would really want that in a chat. I don't think anybody would really want that in the chat of their past self, right? A lot of people say probably because some people, such me, live under a rock and didn't even know that was her. This wasn't a trick or anything. Some people just wish to live a separate life without being tied to anything. But hey, we know now thanks to this post, which, yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, some people like to keep it very, I guess, separated, which I can understand, and I can see why people really want to keep it separated, and that's totally fine. I think that, you know, whenever it comes to actually interacting with the VTuber itself, they should be separated. But I think, yeah, whenever it comes to providing important context, especially on something like a debut, which Karu has done, I think it is also important to do that, because again, there's a lot of cases where VTubers, you know, get away with, you know, switching personalities and things, and nobody has a problem with it whenever it's someone that they dislike. But whenever it's someone that they like, obviously they have a little bit more of a problem with it, which I think, you know, is fine too. Again, it's really like one of these nuanced kind of topics, right? I think some people have different boundaries in terms of what they feel like from the VTuber themselves, and also from you know, the fans. Some people, you know, consider it rude. Some people don't consider it rude, and again, it is more of a kind of I guess a belief thing within the community, right, that is individual to everybody. They say, I feel like it's part of the fun to play along, even if the people know who the character behind Crocodile is, which, yeah, I think is true, right? I think that everybody should know, or not every, you know, you don't have to know, right? But I think everybody has the right to know who they are or who they used to be, right? But it doesn't mean that they have to kind of, you know, not play along. You can still play along with it and know who they are in the background. I think that is actually one of the best kind of explanations of it, right? They say, is it because of the fun of it, or is it like some pseudonyms? They really don't want to be found out. I don't think it's a case of they really don't want to be found out. Obviously, there's a lot of different references and stuff within the actual kind of debut itself. So again, I don't think it's part of trying to like hide or anything like some people are trying to suggest. I think it literally is just for fun and just for doing something, right? And then obviously as well, we have people going into not only this kind of, I guess, side of it with the whole VTuber culture and referring to her by her past name, right? I say past name, like the channel's gone. It's still there, like there's still both channels. But someone has also been talking about the fact, saying, my more question is why she switched off. Cat was at the bag when knowing she got contacted by VShojo, which is still bizarre to me, but more confused why she switched off from her main to this. Obviously, yeah, she has a very, very big channel in terms of, you know, she's a very, very big VTuber. Not VTuber, yeah, well, kind of VTuber. She's a very, very big animation channel, sorry. And now she switched over to being a VTuber, which also, to be fair, has a pretty sizable following now, right? But I do think it is something that is just a switch up, you know? It's just a change of, you know, what she was previously doing. I don't think, you know, the stuff that Karu will be doing is the same that Jaden would have done, right? I think that Karu is going to stick to a more, you know, regular kind of VTuber thing, like obviously gaming with friends or doing some just chatting things, doing some events, right? I think that is going to give her more of an opportunity to do some things that maybe she couldn't do with her main channel, which obviously is absolutely sizable and is massive and, you know, has had a ton of success, right? But sometimes, you know, whenever you get to that point of success, you know, people get bored. People want to do something different. They want to, you know, explore what they could do, whether it's in terms of content creation or outside of content creation, right? You look at people like PewDiePie, right? He's not exactly doing YouTube full time as he used to be, and he's now experimenting with a ton of random kind of computer things and stuff like that at his home, which I think is really cool, right? Because again, you get to that point where you've made your money, you've made all the content that you've really wanted to make. Now what? Now what do you move on to? And obviously VTubing just seems to be the case for Karu, and obviously that's a great thing. I think that is obviously one of the things that you know, might actually lead her to make even more great content. Now, you got people as well like Apollo saying, I don't know, she can, you know, like, I don't see the issue or think it's confusing as to why she would want to start on a different account. She's happy with a new persona. She's still doing her stuff on both sides. Separation is good. She can be more creative with what she wants, which, yeah, it's true. I think they're 100% right with that. I think they're 100% right in terms of saying that, you know, they can separate it, they can do, you know, whatever they want and be more creative. And yeah, that's like true. I don't see why anybody would have an issue with this kind of stuff going on. Obviously, yeah, I think it is a little bit odd that some people are taking issue with that. I don't think this person is fully taking issue, but I did think it was an interesting tweet, right? And there's been a lot of people that have also been kind of saying this stuff like, oh, why does Jaden switch her channel up? She's got so many subs and things. Why would you do that? Again, it's very, very obvious. It's because it's just a change of scenery. It's a change of something to do. It's not about the subs. I don't think it's about the subs at all. It's not about the popularity. It's not about gaining more money or whatever, right? I think the entirety of this whole VTuber project is due to just passion and just fun and just trying to do something a little bit different that, you know, might actually kind of switch things up. I don't know. Obviously, you know, you'd have to ask her personally as to why she made the switch, which probably won't ever happen. But, you know, if you were to ask me, my best guess, it's just to do something a little bit different, right? It's just something to, you know, kind of work on a little side project. And obviously, with her being so talented and stuff with animations and things like that, right? I think that also could, you know, factor into some of the VTubing stuff. Maybe she could do some cool stuff with that too. Again, there are so many different doors and opportunities that have kind of been opened up from this that I do think that, you know, it's just a kind of just fun little project, right? But yeah, some people can't understand that. I don't know why. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to explain that because I thought this was a pretty popular tweet that was going around talking about, you know, people using names and stuff in the past. As I said, I don't really have a problem with people referring to them as it, or not referring to them as it, sorry, going back to them and like kind of, I guess, you know, using it as like a factual thing, as a kind of, you know, news type thing, right? Obviously something similar to what I do. But I think that if you're in her chat calling her Jaden, I think that is rude. I think that is a little bit unnecessary because obviously, you know, this is under a new account. She doesn't want anything to do with that name over on this account. So again, that is rude. That isn't, you know, on. I don't think people should do that. But I think that if you're kind of wanting to give a little bit of extra context to a situation or whatever, then sure, yeah, I think that's then an opportunity when you can use it. But for now, I think, yeah, obviously just be respectful, go into a chat, call her Karu, because again, I think that is, you know, just the way that people do things, and it's a little bit more, yeah, as I said, respectful and nice. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to Kim Subs, use my code Kazu, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.